A fireman is getting released from jail after police say he fired his gun while chasing a man who allegedly stole his truck.
But court records show the alleged car thief spent less time in jail than the firefighter. Anchor Sasha Lininger joins us in Albuquerque to explain why.
Ron, Darlene, prosecutors wanting to keep that fireman in jail until trial after he took matters into his own hands in December. Meanwhile, the man police say who stole his car was released from jail and then rearrested 4 days later. This now causing some people to ask why that fireman spent more time in jail than that alleged car theft. A local firefighter spending roughly a week in jail over the holiday after police say he went after the man who stole his car. It's December 26 when officers get a call about a stolen Tundra that's been found in southwest Albuquerque near Tower and Unser. The man making that phone call, Steven Trujillo, a local firefighter. According to court documents, which are hard to follow, Trujillo was told to stop chasing his stolen truck, but he didn't.
Defendant advised he was armed with a 9mm handgun and an AR rifle, and that he had fired it into the air, or he had fired into the air, one of his weapons.
That taking place near Cesar Chavez and 2nd Street. Trujillo saying he wanted to scare the driver. Attorneys, though, wanting to keep Trujillo in jail until his trial.
As a firefighter, Your Honor, defendant ought to have a heightened understanding of the importance of being committed to public safety, especially as a longtime firefighter. And defendant ought to know that firing a weapon from a moving vehicle is dangerous.
Prosecutors claim Trujillo's history shows a pattern of failing to comply, and that's why they wanted him to stay in jail. But his attorney disagrees, saying his past offenses are minor and decades old. They include a misdemeanor DWI and unpaid animal control fines.
Failure to pay fines and costs, Your Honor, we would allege, is a matter of financial ability to pay, not as much an affirmative decision to go out and commit a new crime.
Meanwhile, according to court records, the alleged car thief was released from jail the next day. He told officers his name is Omar Antillon, but his real name is Juan Terrazas.
He had prior cases: aggravated assault with a deadly weapon, possession of firearm by a felon, receiving and transferring stolen motor vehicle, probation violations for those items, another aggravated assault with a deadly weapon, tampering and concealing ID.
Terrazas was arrested 4 days after this incident for shoplifting at this store. Records show he was released from jail again 2 days later. Now, as part of the state's argument to keep Trujillo locked up, they say that even though members of the community may be frustrated with crime, they should never take the law into their own hands. Meanwhile, we have confirmed that Trujillo is a fireman with Bernalillo County Fire and Rescue. Reps tell us that he is on paid administrative leave pending the outcome of this investigation. Ron, Darlene, back to you.
Sasha, thank you. And today a judge released Steven Trujillo from jail, saying he is not a threat to the community, but did request he remove all guns from his home.